Ladies and gentlemen, there is a time to speak and there is a time to be silent. True wisdom is not just about knowing what to say, it is also about knowing when to say nothing at all. Silence is not weakness, it is strength under control. Silence is not ignorance, it is wisdom in action. If you master silence at the right moments, you will master life itself. Today, I want to share 3 situations when you must choose silence over speech. If you ignore these, you may destroy opportunities, relationships, and even your destiny. One of the greatest dangers in life is speaking on matters you do not fully understand. We live in a world where people are quick to assume, quick to judge, and quick to share opinions on things they know very little about. The problem with this is that words, once spoken, cannot be taken back. How many times have we seen someone's reputation destroyed because of misinformation? How many relationships have been broken because of words spoken in ignorance? How many opportunities have been lost because someone rushed to a conclusion without knowing the full truth? When you do not have all the facts, silence is your best friend. There is a story of a man who saw his neighbor bringing home a new expensive car. Immediately, he assumed the man was involved in illegal activities. He started telling others, spreading the rumor that his neighbor was dishonest and corrupt. But what he didn't know was that the man had worked for years, saved every penny, and finally bought the car as a reward for his hard work. By the time the truth came out, the damage was already done. His words had ruined a reputation, created unnecessary suspicion, and destroyed trust. The lesson? If you don't know the full story, don't add your voice to it. The problem with speaking without full knowledge is that you are not only misleading others, but you are also making yourself look foolish. There is an old proverb that says, "Even a fool is considered wise when he keeps silent." Look at social media today. People comment, share, and attack without ever verifying information. Someone posts a headline, and before they even read the article, they have already formed an opinion. Then they share it, argue about it, and defend it, only to later find out that the information was false. By then, it's too late. The damage is done. The falsehood has already spread. This is why wisdom teaches us: pause before you speak, investigate before you assume, and listen before you respond. Think about a courtroom. When a judge is making a decision, they do not speak before hearing all the evidence. They listen carefully, examine every piece of information, and only then do they render a verdict. But how often do we act as judges in our own lives, speaking before we have seen the full picture? A person of wisdom does not rush to comment on matters they do not fully understand. A person of wisdom does not spread stories that have not been confirmed. A person of wisdom knows that silence is often the best defense against foolishness. If you do not know all the facts, do not speak as if you do. If you are unsure of the truth, do not declare opinions as though they are facts. If you hear a rumor, do not be the one to pass it along. Because once words are released, they take on a life of their own. You may try to correct them later, but by then, it may be too late. The damage may already be done. The trust may already be broken. The opportunity may already be lost. When you don't have all the facts, be silent. Emotions are powerful. They can inspire, they can motivate, and they can give us the energy to act. But emotions can also mislead, deceive, and cause irreversible damage. One of the greatest mistakes a person can make is to speak when their emotions are in control. Anger, frustration, disappointment, excitement. These emotions can cloud judgment, distort reality, and push us to stay foolish. Words spoken in the heat of the moment can leave scars that last a lifetime. They can break relationships, destroy trust, and create conflicts that never should have existed. Think about a time when you were angry, really angry. Maybe someone insulted you, maybe you felt disrespected, maybe things didn't go your way. In that moment, your mind was filled with words, sharp words, words that could cut deep. And if you spoke them, they might have made you feel powerful for a second. But what happened after that moment passed? Regret, guilt, the realization that what you said cannot be taken back. How many marriages have fallen apart because of words spoken in anger? How many friendships have been lost because of emotional outbursts? How many careers have been ruined because of a single statement made in frustration? How many people have missed their destiny because they allowed their emotions to control their mouth? A king who cannot control his emotions will lose his kingdom. A leader who cannot control his emotions will lose his influence. The person who cannot control their emotions will lose the respect of others. There is an ancient story of a warrior who was known for his strength and courage. One day, a man insulted him in public, mocking him in front of the crowd. The warrior's blood boiled. His fists clenched. His mind screamed at him to respond, to humiliate the man with his own words, or worse, to strike him down. But instead of reacting, the warrior turned and walked away. Later, his followers asked, "Why didn't you respond? You are the strongest. You could have crushed him with a single blow." The warrior smiled and said, "A man who allows another to control his emotions is not truly strong. Strength is not in striking back. It is in knowing when to walk away." The wisest people are not those who always have something to say. They are those who know when to remain silent. Think about social media today. People get offended so easily. They see a post, a comment, a message that triggers them, and before thinking, they respond in anger. They type with passion, send messages full of emotion, and hit send without pausing. And then, moments later, when the emotion fades, they realize their mistake. But by then, the damage is done. When emotions are in control, silence is a weapon. Silence gives you time to think, to reflect, to calm down. Silence prevents you from making decisions that you will later regret. Silence allows you to step back and see the bigger picture. When you are disappointed, be silent, because disappointment can make you say things that hurt the very people who are trying to help you. When you are frustrated, be silent, because frustration can cause you to throw away something valuable just because it is difficult in the moment. When you are offended, be silent, because offense is temporary, but words spoken in offense can have permanent consequences. There is wisdom in waiting, there is power in pausing, there is strength in silence. A person who speaks in anger creates problems. A person who speaks in wisdom creates solutions. A person who speaks in frustration pushes people away. A person who speaks in patience draws them closer. A person who speaks in offense destroys unity. A person who speaks in understanding builds peace. If you master your emotions, you will master your tongue. If you master your tongue, you will master your life. But if your emotions control your words will control your destiny. Words are powerful. They can heal or they can wound. They can lift up or they can tear down. They can create opportunities or they can shut doors forever. The words that come out of your mouth have the ability to shape your future and the future of those around you. But the question is, are your words building or are they destroying? There are moments in life when the wisest thing you can do is remain silent, because if you speak, your words will cause harm that cannot be undone. A single sentence, a single comment, a single whisper can ruin a relationship, damage a reputation, or even change the course of someone's life. Many people do not realize that destruction does not always come through actions. Sometimes it comes through speech. There are people who have lost jobs not because they lack skill, but because of the words they spoke. There are people who have lost great friendships not because of betrayal, but because of careless words spoken in haste. There are people who have lost their influence not because they failed, but because they did not know when to keep quiet. Have you ever seen someone succeed in life only to have others tear them down with words? Have you ever witnessed a person make a mistake only to be criticized, ridiculed, and condemned instead of being encouraged to grow? Have you ever heard gossip destroy the reputation of an innocent person, leaving them with wounds that never fully heal? It is easy to speak. It is easy to say what is on your mind. It is easy to express opinions without considering the consequences. But wisdom teaches that just because something is true does not mean it needs to be spoken. Just because you have an opinion does not mean it needs to be shared. Just because you see a flaw in someone does not mean you have to point it out. Words are like seeds. Whatever you plant will grow. If you plant words of encouragement, you will see growth. If you plant words of division, you will see destruction. Some people wonder why their lives are full of conflict, why they seem to always be at war with others, why relationships keep falling apart. Yet they never stop to examine the words they are speaking. Imagine a person who constantly criticizes their spouse, pointing out every mistake, every flaw, every weakness. Over time, love turns to resentment. What could have been a strong relationship becomes one filled with pain. The problem was not love. The problem was the words that destroyed instead of built. Think about a leader who speaks negatively to their team, focusing only on failures, never recognizing effort, never encouraging growth. Eventually, the team loses motivation, morale drops, and what could have been a thriving environment turns into a place of discouragement and failure. Consider a parent who constantly tells their child that they are not good enough, not smart enough, not capable. Those words take root. That child grows up believing they will never succeed, carrying the weight of words that were spoken over them. Words create realities. Words have the power to bring life or to bring death. Some people will never fulfill their potential, not because they lack talent, but because words destroyed their confidence before they could even begin. Some will never step into greatness, not because they weren't called, but because someone's words convinced them that they were not worthy. And what about the words we speak to ourselves? How many people have destroyed their own future because of the things they speak over their own lives? I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. No one cares about me. These words, repeated over time, become a prison. A person who constantly speaks negativity over themselves will never rise above their own words. That is why wisdom says, before you speak, ask yourself, will this build or will this break? Will this bring life or will this bring destruction? Will this encourage or will this discourage? If your words will bring harm, be silent. If your words will destroy, be silent. If your words will take away someone's hope, dignity, or future, be silent. Because once words are spoken, they cannot be taken back. A broken object can be repaired, but a broken spirit caused by words may never fully heal. A house that is torn down can be rebuilt, but a relationship destroyed by words may never be restored. A wound caused by actions may heal with time, but a wound caused by words can last a lifetime. A person of wisdom knows when to speak and when to be silent. A person of wisdom understands that words are not just sounds. They are seeds that will bear fruit for better or for worse. A person